At the start of a project at NuVu, we generally start out by sketching things. So we take out a sketchbook, we take out a pencil, and we draw an idea for one potential solution to whatever problem we're being presented with. Once you have a bunch of these possible solutions to the problem, you basically compare them. You pick a subset of them that you think are really strong, and you create some sort of prototype.
A prototype is a version of a project or a manifestation of an idea that is not necessarily fully formed. So you could have very basic prototypes and very advanced prototypes. And at NuVu, we really push the basic prototypes early on. That we say to the students, your first prototype should be ugly and it doesn't need to work. But it needs to suggest the way that it is going to look and the way that it is going to work. So a prototype can really be some cardboard and tape in some form that has some sort of motion to it, let's say.
This is still something that has a really wide range of possible next steps. So you have to create a prototype really, really quickly and decide very rapidly whether it is a good path to go down or whether it's not a good path to go down. Once you have narrowed it down a lot more, you have some kind of functional prototype, and then the next version of it is all about refining that, and refining it, and refining it, and refining it. Unless you have some type of problem, you keep iterating on it.
As the students move forward, they develop more and more sophisticated prototypes. So each prototype is a refinement of the previous prototype. So when we talk about the iterative process, at the end of each iteration or micro iteration, there's a new prototype. And at the end of the studio, given our 2-week studios, the students have an advanced prototype. They don't necessarily have the thing, right? If they spent another 4 weeks on it, they might have the actual thing. But ultimately, a prototype is a design that's expressing some of its full potential, but not all of it yet.
Every day here, when the students are coming up with an idea or with a design decision, we are questioning them about why they decided to do it this way and why they did not do it some other way. And this is, in so many ways, I feel at the core of what design thinking is this ability to kind of, at any given kind of moment where you have to make a design decision, you have to cycle through many ways of seeing. And you have to make a judgment on the best way to go.
I always like to start my conversation with a group of students saying, what are you doing? And that seems like such a simple question, but even if I saw them and spoke to them 2 hours earlier, an hour earlier, I want to know where they are and what they're doing. Like so to step out broadly and always remember what's the purpose. And I actually ask them to do that every night to reframe the whole purpose statement. So what are you doing and why are you doing it are good ones, but also what do you see? So oftentimes I'll sit down with students and they'll want to tell me a lot of stuff, and they'll have a model, and I'll say, okay, let's stop talking or stop telling me about it. What do you actually have in front of you? And when they describe that, hopefully they'll begin to see, well, there's some things that they tried to do and there's some things that they didn't try to do that just happened. One thing I always tell my students is that, and it comes across a little mean, I tell them pretty early on, I don't care if you like something or if you don't like something. I don't want you to say, I like this or I don't like this, especially when critiquing other people's work, because there's no information in there at all. So if they say something like that, and I'll often ask this of students, is to unpack what they've said to me. So if they say, I like it, I can say, okay, well, what specifically do you like about it? And getting students to speak specifically is one thing that I've really noticed is one of the most challenging things here. They're wanting to speak in kind of broad generalizations. So to be really specific about what they've done and what their ideas are is really helpful.